regardless of numbers, though, now we're going to get into my list of the top 10 hip-hop albums of 2023. This was incredibly hard for me. So first, before we get into my list, disclaimer, this is strictly my opinion. I'm not going off of numbers. I'm not going off of what people think is hot. I'm not going off of nothing else but solely what I listened to in 2023 that was released in 2023. This is what I noticed on my Apple Music. This is what I noticed on my YouTube. This is what I noticed on every platform, what I was listening to in the car, what I was listening to a lot. This is what I noticed just throughout this year. I was thinking about, what did I listen to a lot? What did I go back to a lot? I looked at my numbers on the streaming. I was like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. So let's start with the top 10 hip hop albums of 2023. Solely my opinion. That's it. So if you disagree, hey, drop a comment, send me a message on Instagram, DM or Twitter, whatever platform I'm on there, TikTok, if you want to tag me on something, whatever, I'm up for, discussing. But like I said, solely my opinion. Let's start with number 10. And I felt this album is very underrated. I felt this album didn't get the praise it should. And I would say this album, to me, had the best album artwork. Easily. Now that I go over the list, I think, now that I'm going over my list, definitely the best album artwork. That's like, if I had to rank album artworks, which I'll probably do next year. I don't know. We'll see. This is the best one. It just looks fire. So, number 10 is Offset, Set It Off. I felt this album, for a lot of people, came and went. The album artwork intrigued me so much that I was like, I have to listen to this. Listen to it, and I fell in love with it. I've been bumping it for quite some time. It's got consistent sounds. A lot of the sounds might be somewhat the same. To me at least, but the mixture of it is really good. The features are great. They complement each other well. And let me find I'm trying to get this track list up, but my internet's, I hate when this happens, man. The internet just randomly goes out, or it takes forever to load. I really, really, really enjoyed this album. I think it's an album that the world, or just to me, just based off sales too, like, it didn't do that much in sales. How much did it do first week? Debuted at number 5 with 70,000 sold, which is not bad. 70,000 sold is commendable. But, man, you go over this whole album, I love it. You got on, just first off, the first like 6-7 tracks are fire. You got On the River, Save My Grace with Travis Scott, Worth It with Don Toliver, Broad Day with Future, Fan, Freaky, like Hop Out the Van, all these records. Some of them I didn't like. I think Skyami, or Finest Can Be with Lotto. I think there's a few Princess Cut. Jealousy, I love with Cardi B. That's probably one of my favorite records, honestly. Upside Down was a great track, but there's some that I didn't like. Blame It On Set, I think it was, or I don't remember which titles specifically, but I know the first like 6-7 tracks to me I loved. And once I heard that, I was like, okay, this is an album I can enjoy. So this is my number 10 best hip-hop album of 2023. Number 9. This is another one that I discovered. I think I was on YouTube Live because I knew this artist was dropping a project, but I didn't really, like, it's another one of those projects that I wasn't rushing to go listen to. But then once I saw the YouTube Live video of this song, because I was on YouTube Live and I played the video, I was like, whoa, okay, this is fire. Yo Gotti and DJ Drama's I Showed You So. I think Yo Gotti had a lot to get off his chest because of the whole Young Dolph thing that happened. A lot of accusations, a lot of, rumors of he had a role in it, blah, blah, blah. And he speaks this very well on Fake Love, No Fake Love, No Fake Love is the record. Let me just go over some of the bars. I really love this track. Just this track alone got me excited for the project, and I love the project overall. I think Yo Gotti's reached. Yo Gotti, you could say, has the best record label, most successful record label right now, easily. CMG is doing their thing. Everybody's succeeding. Everybody's doing their thing. Big Gotti 8 something, 15 from 100 M's. I heard they don't fuck with me. Ha! I don't fuck with them. They gonna say they gonna do something to it. I ain't one of them. Boy, please put your hands on a gangster gon' die. Fake love. I don't even believe my bitches when they cry. Fuck love. BB have emotion. Yeah, body bitch a bag. I can give her no emotions. I'm in the Phantom with the hammer tuck. And I'm with Angela. I ain't lost a crush since high school. I'm Mr. Follow Up. Yeah, he just killed this shit. This probably like, he said this. Glow was nominated. Same time on the low, I'm getting investigated. I'm showing unity with CMG and guys hate it. Doug was doing a big because he's violated his probation. Told him straight strong and be patient. The internet going crazy. Had to deactivate my Insta. Might see me in the chauffeur with the family with that pistol. Might see me on the Forbes, but I'm one of them boys. Really got it at the kitchen. Digit Scales my award. Ask Billboard. I want to do no cover without my guys. No lie. Beef with my... Yeah, you just fucking killed this shit, man. Boss, look at that. He said, ask Billboard. I want to do a cover without my guys, without everybody being in there. He said, look, the internet going crazy. I had to deactivate my Insta, basically accusing him of the whole... Young Dolph murder. He even said Glow was nominated. Same time on the low, I'm getting investigated by the FBI about if he had anything to do with Young Dolph. So throughout this whole project, he had tracks like that where it was just like, I really enjoyed it. I started going back and back, always going back to it. Let me go over the track list here because I'm forgetting these track lists. Hard to keep in mind all these track lists. Very, very underrated, man. Even if it was a mixtape, technically an album, DJ Drama on there, but so you got, let's see, Driveway Furniture. I love that. Mind My Business was good record. No Fake Love. Pop My Shit. The One. Manor with Rich Homie Quan was not bad too. Yeah, overall the project was great, man. There's a lot of tracks that I enjoyed. Disc 2. What was this? Why was there 2 discs again? One was about, what was the 2 discs reason for? I forgot. Regardless, I enjoyed the project. It's number 9 on my top 10 hip hop albums of 2023. That's how much I enjoyed it. Number 8, Lil Durk, Almost Healed. I don't know why. To me, Lil Durk's been on a roll since probably, I want to say 2020, right when he hit that feature. And then when King Von passed, it kind of gave him this kind of, I think, extra boost to talk and be more gangsta, be more, well, he has records that are more soft and stuff, but Almost Healed to me was a great, really great album that I kept going back to. It was released in May, I believe, and I just kept listening throughout the year. I do think the original artwork of this album would have been better. I think he was standing like in this, let me see, I actually got to find the original artwork. I really like the original artwork a lot more. Original album cover. Yeah, he's like, this one's way better because he's like standing with a bunch of people. And it looks way, everybody's face is like blurred and he's there. Like, it just looks way better. I wish you would have gone with that artwork instead of this. This looks like a Future artwork, like something Future would do, which Future has done similar type of thing. You should have stayed with this other artwork. That's one kind of critique I have about this project. But therapy session is dope. Alicia Keys talking to him about all his trauma, his experience. Then it goes into Pele Coat, which is one of my favorite tracks. I really enjoy this track. All My Life, of course, J. Cole, one of my favorite tracks as well. Big Dog, amazing. Never Imagine a Future, amazing. Let's see here. Grandson, Kodak Black, You Got Him. Across the Globe, yes, as well. Belt to the Ass. Stand By Me with Morgan Wallen was actually pretty interesting. Moment of Truth. So I liked a lot of these tracks on this album. I went back to the album always. So I just found myself just constantly listening to it. So at that point, I was like, it has to be on my top 10 list. It can't not be. Number 7. This is someone I didn't expect to have such a great album. This is an artist who's been in the game for a while and to me had fell off musically. And on this album, he proved that he didn't. That he's back on his shit, that he knows how to remain. And he actually talks about it in quite a few songs. Jeezy's I Might Forgive, I Don't Forget. Yeah, this album, when it dropped, I wasn't like hurrying to listen to it. But when I did finally get a chance to listen to it, I enjoyed it. I Might Forgive, amazing track. My Name, No Complaint. I ain't doing no complaining. Fucking fire. Reminds me like one of those like old Disney cartoon movies, the background. Anyways, They Don't Love Me, Trust No One, Sad. Like, that's the first 6 tracks off the bat I love. Shine on Me, Keep the Change, Nothing to Prove. Just the project is very long, don't get me wrong. So it doesn't fill everything because of how, like, it doesn't, compare to other albums, it doesn't have that as much great tracks because of how long the album is, but I enjoyed a lot of it, man. I really enjoyed this album. And I think Jeezy is because I factored that in. The fact that Jeezy's been in the game for such a long time to be able to deliver a great album after all these years, to me, means a lot more than a new artist delivering, because a new artist can explore things and do different things and has a lot more to talk about versus an old artist. That's why I salute Lil Wayne. He always comes up with something creative, something to say, and Lil Wayne's been rapping since he was like fucking 12 years old. So that's hard as hell to do. So I factored that in a lot as well. So I'm not going to lie. That was a huge factor in my it came to me as a surprise too. I wasn't expecting Jeezy to have such a great album released. But that's my number 7. Number 6. Beep, beep. Is that me? Is that you talking it? Is that? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Is that beef? You know what I'm saying. Beep, beep. Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday. I love the first Pink Friday. I really enjoyed it. I think Nicki Minaj, I love the Pink Print. I think Pink Print is her best album, period. But Pink Friday 2 stamps Nicki Minaj as officially the GOAT of female rappers right now. She's broken a lot of records with this album. On top of that, the album is amazing. I think it's number 6 on my top 10 list of 2023. Out of all the albums that came out in 2023, this is number 6 on my list. I enjoyed the album throughout a lot of it, man. Let me go over some of the track list here. And I feel like she had something to prove, and she did that. To me, she delivered a balanced album with a lot of tracks that were really great. The deluxe version, obviously, the Beep Beep, the original version, then you got the 150. FTCU, Let Me Calm Down, J. Cole. I think J. Cole did his thing. R&B, Needle with Drake, I enjoyed. Everybody, Lil Uzi Vert, Big Difference, I really enjoyed as well. I was waiting for that record. Red Ruby, The Sleaze, I like. Let's see here. My Life, Nikki Hendrix, The Future. And Love, I think it was Love Me Enough or Just the Memories, one of those two. Yeah, so, and then Beep Beep, obviously with 50. Beep Beep, is that me? Is that you talking? Is that me? But yeah, so yeah, great album. Shout out to Nicki Minaj, still doing it strong after, 13 years, 14 years in her career? Actually, you could say about 15, because she came out in like 2009, you could say. Well, she started rapping like earlier than that, but when she like really started catching, waves and heat was 2009. So you could say at the same time around Drake. So 15 years in the game, still doing it big, breaking records, doing her thing. So salute to Nicki Minaj. Great album. Now my top 5, and this is probably it might end up pissing some of you guys off because, it's going to be like, oh, we kind of knew this, Quake. It's like we expected this person to be on here. You guys, hey, listen, man, I like what I like. I enjoy these projects, bump them a lot. So this is my list. Number 5, Lloyd Banks, Cody 3. Love this fucking album. I went back to it quite a few times. When we live streamed it, I think I cried on one of the tracks. It was just one of the album really hit. Shows Banks' maturity, shows his progression. Has always taken it to the next level. Producers killed it. Engineers killed it. Everybody did their thing. And I haven't seen Banks on nobody's list, which, once again, to me is, I don't know, it surprises me at the end of the day. You got Money Machine, Cliffhanger, 101 Raises, Lloyd Banks and Method Man. Love that track. Movie Scenes, LSD, Voices, Keys to Success, Red Alert. Automatic Pilot was all right because Dave East, Vado and Banks did their thing. But damn near everything on this, we went on a live. I did my review and everything. Damn near everything on this project was amazing to me. I really enjoyed it. Went back to it a lot of times. And then that was until he released Halloween Havoc 4. So, yeah, love the project, man. Banks deserves a lot more love to get his flowers. I'm just genuinely disappointed at people's list. Nobody having him, like all these platforms, man. I was surprised B-Dot didn't put him on there. B-Dot released his list and didn't even have him on there, which is like another surprising thing because Banks delivers, man. Banks, to me, has been delivering. And I think if Banks wants a lot of these newer, if Banks cares about the recognition of these like lists, I think he needs to change his sound a little bit, make it more, instead of the boom bap hip hop stuff, kind of do tracks like Movie Scenes and what he used to do with Beamer, Benz, and Bentley and those type of tracks. Check Me Out, like those type of beats, that were a lot hard hitting. People like that type of style, like the Cold Corner 2 type of style. I think if Banks goes back in that pocket a little bit, maybe he'll get more recognition from, bigger mainstream media. I mean, I'm big on my own aspect and my own thing, but there's a possibility that, more people, if Banks cares about that, then at the end of the day, Banks has, he's solidified himself. He's done legendary things. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think what other people say, just if your fans are pleased, then they're pleased. So Lloyd Banks, Cody 3, number 5. Number 4. This was a project that I always found myself listening to late at night. Like I felt like I needed to wear a 007 tuxedo, something like discreet, and drive a Porsche and just be fly, smooth and fly, because that's what this project is. Even on the artwork, the guy has his hand with this nice watch and it looks like he's riding one of those Miami boats on the whatever, those speed boats and shit. If you already know what I'm talking about, based off the artwork, I'm talking about Larry June and the Alchemist, The Great Escape. This project, Alchemist, to me, is one of my favorite producers of all time. I think he's very underrated as well. He should be praised as like Kanye, Dr. Dre, Timbaland. Like that's the level he should be praised at, but he doesn't get that praise because, I don't know, maybe he doesn't make that mainstream sound that people, or maybe he doesn't work with a lot of mainstream like now. I don't know, but this project is so smooth. I don't know. It fits a pocket that we don't really get in hip hop a lot. And I found myself bumping this, like I said, at night when I was cruising. Or when I just wanted to calm my mind, just listen to something, like when I felt fly. Like, I'm so fly, I got money. Like that type of vibe. So let me go over the project a little bit. Some of my favorite tracks. Larry June. Larry June, I think, needs to get a lot more praise for the projects that he releases. I think he's very talented. The Great Escape, so let's go. Turkish Cotton, of course. 89 Earthquake, of course. Solid Plan, of course. Action Bronson did his thing on that as well. Summer Rain with Todd Dolla $ign. I'm not a really big fan of Todd Dolla $ign, but made it work. What Happened to the World? 60 Days. Margie's Candy House. Ocean Sounds. Like, you got records that just, the whole project is just smooth. Like, that's what I mean. You got to wear a 007 tuxedo. Got to look fly to be bumping this type of music. You got to be in a Porsche 911, something like that, or one of those fucking speedboats in Miami with a cigar in your mouth with a nice watch on and just flexing on people. That's what this project is, to flex on people. It's really, really great, man. I really enjoyed it. I kept going back to it. So shout out to Larry June and the Alchemist. They delivered something really, really special in hip-hop for 2023. So salute to them. Top 3. Now, these 3 projects I realized I went to the most. Always will go back to these, no matter what. I don't know what, doesn't matter the mood, doesn't matter the time of day. Like the Larry June Alchemist thing, I would bump that a lot when I was riding the night. But these projects, I was bumping no matter what. Sad, mad, glad, Mr. Clean, not Mr. Clean. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, but I would bump these projects like crazy. This is my top 3. Number 3, Key Glock. Glaucoma 2, and the deluxe version, of course. With Young Dolph passing, a lot of pressure falls on Key Glock because he was the second guy with PRE. Could he continue the greatness of Young Dolph and Key Glock together? Would Young Dolph passing affect Key Glock to be able to make great music? Clearly, it hasn't. I know he's dealt with a lot because of his passing, but Glaucoma 2 proves Key Glock is in his lane of his own, doesn't need artists. He can carry. This is things that people don't notice about Key Glock and don't notice about artists like Kevin Gates and don't notice about a lot of artists, let's just say. They don't need features. They can carry records. There are artists that can't carry a whole album by themselves. They need features. Those artists struggle, and you'll see them. Every time they drop an album, they need features. They need a bunch of features. They can't drop an album without features. These artists, Kevin Gates, Key Glock, and whoever else you want to throw in there, they can carry albums by themselves and make it interesting, and that's what Key Glock does. His production, just his taste in beats, I thought would go away because I thought it was Young Dolph. I thought Young Dolph was the one that was like, because Dolph had immaculate taste in beats. I think he is one of the best beat choosers. I mean, some of this shit is just wild, man. Like, listen, I've been listening to Scotch records. It's like out of this fucking world. But this album, Fuck a Feature is one of the tracks that I really enjoy. There's so many, man. I can't think of all the fucking titles, man. These titles on some of these tracks be getting at me, but so let's go over Sucker Free. Loved it. Let's Go. Loved it. No Hook. Loved it. Penny. Loved it. Presidential Rolex, loved it. Last Man Standing, loved it. Work, loved it. Randy Orton, loved it. Pop My Shit, loved it. Designer Down, loved it. Key Rex, loved it. Fuck That Shit, loved it. Money Over Hoes, loved it. Ratchet, loved it. Fuck a Feature, loved it. This is over 23 tracks, and most of them I loved. And I kept going back to them bumping. So Key Glock, if you're not aware of Key Glock, you're just not listening to him for some reason because you think he fell off because of Young Dolph passing, or you're never on Key Glock, please bump him. Mind you, there are no features on this project. That's why the last track is called Fuck a Feature. It's all him carrying the shit, and he does an immaculate job. And the production is out of this world. Let the band play. I think it's Bandplay mainly producing stuff, and Bandplay's underrated as a producer. I'm telling you right now. Let me see who produced a lot of stuff. I bet you it's Bandplay because they've been using Bandplay for a while, to be honest with you. Like even when Dolph was alive, Bandplay was probably let the band play. Well, surprising enough, Bandplay's not all producing it. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 6 tracks he produced on this project. Okay. So not as much as I thought, but a lot of producers on here. And man, they all killed it. They did their fucking thing. That's not to say that the beats are carrying Key Glock, because, yeah, you know, Key Glock is the most lyrical artist of all time, but it's his flow, his delivery, his swag on records with the beat. To me, like I said, it's not all about lyrics and who can rap, who can do all this. It's about mood as well. Waka Flocka talked about that a while ago. So to me, that is the number 3 best album of 2023. Number 2, and this surprised a lot of people in terms of like this person coming back and just delivering something so great. Gunna, A Gift and a Curse. Number 2. That is my number 2 album in hip hop of 2023. And of course, we know the first title track, Fuck You Mean. You mean? Yeah, fuck you mean. And then you got Rodeo, I think Rodeo Road or something like that. And then you got a lot of stuff, man. I think he nailed it. The project isn't super long, which 15 tracks to me, I'm happy with. You didn't overdo it. You got Back at It, Back to the Moon, Payback, Cash Shit, Fuck You Mean, Rodeo Drive, Born Rich, Go Crazy, Bread and Butter, Turn Your Back, All Right. Like, come on, man. Come on. I was just thinking I could throw that in too. That's not bad. Damn near perfect project. Enjoyed the album. He came back swinging. All the people saying he's a snitch. He fell off. We ain't gonna fuck with him. Well, they had to fuck with him because he was getting number 1. I don't know if Fuck You Mean went number 1. I think it did. Or it got close to number 1. I remember seeing it on the charts and it got close. Yeah, it peaked at number 4. So almost. Regardless, knocked it out the park, man. I think, it debuted at number 3, doing 85,000 first week. The reviews from most people were pretty good. Not bad. Yeah, I enjoyed the project a lot, man. I think Gunna, especially because I factor in like what's going on at that moment. You know, like, are you dealing with something at that moment for you to deliver? Because sometimes when artists are under stress, they don't perform. Sometimes they do. So I do factor a little bit of that. Gunna was obviously under stress, came out, people were clowning him. He's a snitch, this and that. Dropped this, made everybody shut up. So shout out to Gunna. Amazing project. Did his thing in 2023. Number 1. I gotta take a little sip because give me a little time to say number 1. Number 1, and this shouldn't be a surprise to people. Lloyd Banks, Halloween Havoc 4. Now, this is why I took a little time in terms of my list. I have Banks in the number 5 slot and the number 1 slot. That's just how much I enjoy the projects. I can't, I would be lying to you guys if I said, hey, I'm not going to put another Banks project on here because I don't want to look like there's too much Banks. That's just the reality that that's just me. That's what I'm bumping. And Halloween Havoc 4 to me was better than Cody 3. Banks felt like he was more in pocket. Even the mix and mastering sounded better to me. Love this project. There's not a single song that I've skipped. I think there was like maybe 1 or 2. I think we did a live stream and I kind of went over some stuff, but then those opinions change over time. But just nailed it out the park, man. Best project release of the year. Kept going back to it, and Banks has his things that he does that I just can't. It's the delivery. I just can't put into words, man. It's hard to explain. He can get you on an emotional roller coaster ride too, man. Not a lot of artists do that. Not a lot of artists, when they rap lyrically, do I listen to every single word that artist spits. With Banks, I do that. And when you actually listen to the lyrics, you listen to what he's saying, the delivery, the punchlines, the different metaphors, and everything that he's delivering in one track. Sometimes it's like, wow, it's rare that I look at an artist like that. Like Lupe Fiasco is one of those, multi-layered, and Banks is multi-layered in a lot of different facets. Of course, the whole project. I think the only track I didn't like was Clubbing in Chaos, maybe, and Trap Dice. I think those are the two, but everything else I loved. And that's it, man. Banks got the number one slot for me. It's a shame that not other people aren't featuring him on lists. But to me, I think he delivered 2 back-to-back great projects, and he deserves a lot more praise. So that is my list. Number 10, Offset, Set It Off. Number 9, Yo Gotti and DJ Dramas, I Showed You So. Number 8, Lil Durk, Almost Healed. Number 7, Jeezy, I Might Forgive, I Don't Forget. Number 6, Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday 2. Number 5, Lloyd Banks, Cody 3. Number 4, Larry June and the Alchemist, The Great Escape. Number 3, Key Glock, Glaucoma 2. Number 2, Gunna, A Gift and a Curse. And number 1, Lloyd Banks, Halloween Havoc 4. Now, I'm going to do some honorable mentions. These are albums that almost made my list. I really enjoyed these projects, but I just couldn't see them. Like, I wasn't going back to them as much as I was these projects that are my top 10. So, honorable mentions, Boosie Badass going through some things. I think Boosie has shifted his attention, or at least people's attention, more to his interviews and what he says more than the music. And it's unfortunate because this project, he keeps it real, man. Boosie knows how to keep it real. Goes through a plethora, I don't know how to say the word, a range of emotions, and goes you on another roller coaster ride like Banks does. I think it's a very underrated project. So Boosie Badass going through some things. That was an honorable mention. Rod Wave Nostalgia, even though he's not specifically hip hop, he's more R&B. That's another project that I enjoyed that was bumping. Drake, For All the Dogs. I think he has a lot of great tracks on there. Just overall, the album, isn't one of my favorites, but he has a lot of tracks on there that I go back and listen to. Rick Ross or William Roberts and Meek Mill, Too Good to Be True. I enjoy the project. I think the Shaq record is probably one of my favorites that's released this year. 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne, Welcome to Collie Grove. Enjoyed that project as well. 50 narrating was cool as hell. Nas, Magic 3. I enjoyed that. Liked it way more than Magic 2. So shout out to Nas, killing it, doing his thing. And then Sha Money XL's album. This is another underrated, obviously not pushed mainstream at all. Sha Money XL's Message to the Streets. If you're looking for a little bit of mixture of old hip hop, a little bit of new hip hop, go to that project. If you haven't heard Sha Money XL's project, Message to the Streets, check it out. Comes with like 20-something tracks, but it's worth it. Great overall project, positivity, great message overall, and I feel it's underrated, so I just wanted to mention it as my honorable mention as well. So those are my honorable mentions in albums.